Hello and welcome to another Smurd video, and today we are looking at the Build-A-Figure Sasquatch, and he is a big fella. So first off, I've got to say that I am digging how well molded his fur is. They have given us some great detail, although one gripe I have, you can really, I don't know what it is, I feel like you can tell that he's really plastic, I don't know, it just bugs me a little bit. He's not as solid as what I expected him to be, in all fairness, but he is quite nice. But once again, they've given us a rehash, fair enough, Toy Biz gave us that one a long time ago, but they've given us a figure that they felt they could do better when there are probably X-Men or Deadpool villains that perhaps we'd rather see. I'd love to see a Nimrod, for example, or something along those lines. There are plenty of characters that haven't been done that perhaps this could have waited. But looking at him, he is really nice. He's just, you either like him or you hate him, I guess. Yeah, some crap on that. That's not cool. So pretty much, this is him, Shaggy himself. I do hope we get more Alpha Flight figures. I'd love to see a Vindicator, a Shaman, obviously North Star, and his sister, his twin sister, more North Star because I liked him in the X-Men really. But this guy's cool, and they were a big part of Miss Marvel's Alpha Flight team on the space station more recently, or the last couple of years, which was cool. Now here he is against the Sasquatch from the Apocalypse series, which was actually one of my first figures that I ever brought, ironically enough. And I still really like him. He's a bit thinner than this guy. Yes, he was a bit of brute, but in terms of height-wise, they're pretty about the same. So I'm not sure if there is much difference at all. You either like this version, or I think you like this version. I think this version's probably really accurate, but I think this one did really well. I really do still dig this figure. This one probably deals better with the fur incorporated, etc. But to some extent, I always felt like Toy Biz, sometimes they did better on some figures, and others they just didn't care about. So for example, you could take Series 4 Gambit or Beast, brilliant. And then you take something like some of the Captain Americas, from Series 8, it just looked blotchy, etc. So some of their work was absolutely beautiful, and then some of it just deteriorated. I still dig this guy. I think it looks fantastic. And you can have either. I think this works just as well as this one. I think the face is probably a bit more accurate, but it depends when you're looking at this. I'm pretty sure I could find a picture where it kind of looks like this. So it's like Marmite. You either like him or you hate him. You want to replace him, but I think either option is pretty cool. So I'm going to be honest with you. The only Alpha Flight stories that I really read were when they faced off against the X-Men, some of those classic early Uncanny X-Men issues, and the crossover with the X-Men, The Gift, in the 80s. So really, other than that, I don't know much about these characters. I've read Puck in Uncanny X-Force, but that's about it. It is something that I want to read at some point. But so really, when I purchased these two Build-A-Figures, it was mainly because of the animated series. That's what I loved about that series, that Weapon X story. I thought it was pretty damn awesome. So to do stuff with these guys is pretty cool. Certainly, definitely feel like there's a lot of fun to be had with these figures, and to be honest with it, I don't get them out. I won't get them out enough of my collection, mainly because I focus on the core X-Men teams when I'm doing displays like that, for example. So, but you know, I think there is fun to be had. I also never brought the Vindicator from all those years ago, and I think he goes for a pretty penny, so I'm not even going to bother. I really do hope that we get a new one, though. Possibilities would have been endless if Wolverine had been leading Alpha Flight, if not going after Professor Xavier. Still my favourite Wolverine. Okay, and here he is with the rest of the team, and I feel like this was a very solid wave. Other than Paladin, you know, I wanted every figure from this wave, which is, you know, sometimes a bit hit and miss with a Deadpool wave because he has lots of other characters that can be in his team and not just X-Men. But this was a very, very solid wave. I like the X-Force theme for it. You got 4 members from different X-Force teams. 90s Deadpool, a Sasquatch, a new figure, which is pretty cool. And Paladin, if you like him, he is a big part of Deadpool's world, the Mercenaries world as it's called. So, you know, it's great to have all these guys. I think we've been spoiled this thing, other than the Nerf guns, of course. We have been spoiled. So overall, this is a fantastic figure, although I felt we could have had something new that we haven't seen in the last 18 years. But we have had some fantastic rehashes of figures in this wave. So I feel like Hasbro are saying, hey, we can do better, we want to do better, we want to give you the best. And that's what they're doing. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the next couple of waves. Deadpool's got another wave, and we're finally getting a Sauron. We're getting a new Apocalypse. I'm hoping it's in between the size of the Toy Biz, the 2 Toys Biz ones. So you've got one in between, which would be quite cool. But thank you for watching. Embrace the geekiness. Have a good night. Take care. Goodbye.